My name is Eli.
My name is Jason.
My name is Caden.
My name is Jaden.
And we are the Yahoo and the Torah YouTube channel.
We are so glad you're here joining us tonight.
We know your time is valuable.
And so we want to make the most of it. And we are here and we are discussing the 613 laws of Yahuwah that are put together by, I don't know who they're put together by, but this list is kind of confusing, kind of funky. It's not confusing because they are the laws of God. It's confusing because these people didn't proofread their own work, or they got this list from somewhere. And wherever they get this list and everybody comes up with the 613 laws, there are a lot of repeats and a lot of run-ons and things of this nature. And so we're going through this, and we are down to the last 100 or so. And so since we started at 520, we did that last night, and they're all repeats. You can eat your neighbor's grain, but don't cut it down. And that had to talk with if you were starving to death, or starving, maybe not to death, but you're hungry, then you can go into your neighbor's field. You can do what, Eli?
You can pluck some grain and eat it, but you're not allowed to take a sickle and cut it down and take it with you and grind it all up and have a whole bunch of it.
Right. Don't fill your backpack and take off of your neighbor's stuff. So, okay, so 521, 522, repeat. 523, not to muzzle an ox while plowing. Deuteronomy 25:4.
Do not muzzle an ox while it is threshing.
Does anybody have any idea why you wouldn't muzzle an ox while it's threshing?
Maybe breathing.
Might be. I've always wondered about this.
I mean, I had no idea. I've never had an oxen before, so I don't know.
I have a cow, but I don't know.
It probably wants to eat, so it'd probably eat during that time. If it was muzzled, it wouldn't be able to eat.
And I mean, maybe it needs to breathe a little more, extra breathing for the work it's doing.
Yeah, it's definitely
a little harder to breathe from muzzle on.
Yeah, I don't know why you would want to muzzle an oxen. Would the oxen bite somebody? You know, we're thinking of like a dog muzzle or something. I don't know exactly what an oxen muzzle is, I guess, is the problem. But that is a command. So if you guys end up with an oxen and you end up with a muzzle, don't muzzle the oxen while you're plowing. 524. If a man borrow an item and it dies or breaks, he must pay it back. Okay. Exodus 22:14.
It says, "And when a man borrows from his neighbor and is injured or dies, while the owner of it is not present, he shall certainly repay."
Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yeah.
So if you borrow something and you break it, you buy it.
Yeah, or if it dies or gets injured, you got to pay for the cow's injury, the ox's injury, or if the life of it.
Yeah. So I mean that makes sense. 525 says repeat. Does anyone know what is a repeat of? Exodus 22:6.
Yeah, this is we do want to know this one.
It was about the fire.
It's when fire breaks out,
fields.
and fire breaks out, and you have to pay back what you burned down.
Okay, so what is it again?
It says when fire breaks out and spreads to thorn bushes, so that stacked grain or standing grain, or the field is consumed, he who kindled the fire shall certainly repay.
Yeah. Okay. So when you burn your neighbor's place down, that's what you do. Is you repay. 526. Do not afflict the fatherless or the widows. Exodus 22:24. 527 is again a repeat. So Exodus 22:24. Tell us about the fatherless and the widows.
All right, so it starts in verse 22. Do not afflict any widow or a fatherless child. If you afflict them at all, if they cry out to me at all, I shall certainly hear their cry, and my wrath shall burn, and I shall slay you with the sword. Your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless.
Why do you guys suppose it says things like this?
So you don't afflict them because they don't have like a man or someone to provide for them. So if you afflict them and don't help them out, they have no one else to provide for themselves.
You're making their situation a whole lot worse than what it is.
Yeah. So obviously you should take care of the widows. Okay. 527 is the repeat. 528. You can charge interest to the stranger, but not your brother. Deuteronomy 15:3.
And this is the word of release. Every creditor is to release what he has loaned to his neighbor. He does not require it of his neighbor or his brother, because it is called the release Yahuwah. Of a foreigner you could require it, but your hand is to release whatever is owned by your brother.
Okay. So yeah. So if you are loaning money to people and they are your family, then you shouldn't charge them interest. But to the stranger, I guess you can charge him interest, but he'll probably take off anyway and take whatever he got. So you probably be over in the end anyway. The creditor must not forcibly take collateral. Deuteronomy 24:1.
When you lend your brother a loan, do not go into his house to get his pledge.
Okay, so why do you suppose you don't go into his house to get his pledge? The guy owes you
that's
money.
probably all he has. If he's asking for money, he's obviously not in a good position right now.
But what if the guy has a lot of money and he's not paying his bills?
No,
That's not
don't take his stuff.
Well, the guy has a lot of money. He's in there counting. You could see through the window the guy sitting in there counting his gold. And he's looking at you and he winks and goes, do you go inside his house and take his money?
No.
No, I would just tell
Why
him
not?
to pay his bills. If he's got all this money, he shouldn't come borrowing from other people when he can pay already.
He slammed the windows to you. That's it. Do you go in and take his stuff?
I'll wash my
You cry to
hands.
Yahuwah. Cry to Yahuwah.
Yeah, credit Yahoo. Okay,
I'll
yeah.
wash my hands of this one.
Well, it says don't. It says don't take it. Okay, 5:30. Return the collateral to the debtor when it is needed. Deuteronomy 24:13.
By all means, return the pledge to him at sundown, and he shall keep and he shall sleep in his own garment, and shall barak you, and it shall be righteousness to you before Yahuwah your Elohim.
Okay, so what does this say, Neela?
So basically, when you borrow something, you return it back before sunset. If it's like some guy's only like garment or something, he lends it to you. You gotta bring it back to him so he doesn't have any problems.
Or this one is actually talking about taking collateral. So some dude gives you his cloak for like a chunk of bread or something,
Or
and
like
so he goes out and
you
works.
give him
And,
some shekels or whatever, and he gives you something.
right,
You're
and
supposed to
so
return it to him so
Right.
that he is not sitting there without it because that's all he has.
yep, pawn shops make their living off ripping people off like that. Okay, 5:31. Not to delay returning the collateral when it is needed. Did we just do this one? No, this is
No.
Deuteronomy 24:12.
And if the man is poor, do not sleep with his pledge.
Okay, yeah. So don't be a banksta. Don't be an evil banksta. There's a place in hell for evil banksters. 5:32. Do not demand collateral from a widow.
24:17. Do not twist the right ruling of a stranger or the fatherless, nor take the garment of a widow.
Okay. So what does that mean?
You shouldn't.
You just give to the widow. You don't sit there and say, "Hey, give me this," so that
You don't
repay
take
it.
Don't shake her down.
You
Don't grift the widow.
You don't take her clothes until she pays you back. And then when you pay back, you get your clothes back. You don't do that to her.
Just hook her up.
Yeah, just help her out, man.
take care of
She'll
her.
pay you back when she can. She's a widow.
Yeah, she can. Widows are cool. All right, 5:33. Not take out the upper millstone for a pledge. That doesn't even make
Not
sense.
to take out.
All right, not to take out the upper millstone for a pledge. Deuteronomy 24:6.
Using voice text on that one.
No one takes in pledge the lower or the upper millstone, for he would be taking a life in pledge.
Okay, so what now? The upper
says,
millstone.
No one takes in pledge the lower or the upper millstone, for he would be taking a life in pledge.
I honestly
don't
have
know
no
what-
idea.
I don't know what
Is
they're
there,
using
what's
it.
above this? Is there anything above this?
When a man has taken a new wife, let him go out into an army. Do not let him go out into the army. No. Nothing there.
Do not take an upper millstone for a pledge.
No one takes a pledge.
So a millstone, I mean, there's a mill. I don't know what an upper millstone. A millstone is a ginormous rock that they put the pedophiles.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They hang around their neck and toss them into the ocean because they're messing with the kids. Yeah, well, it says it's actually better for them to have the millstone and chucked in the ocean than it is for what's going to happen to them. So don't mess with the kids. So I don't know what an upper millstone is. Any one of you guys out there knows on 533 what the upper millstone is? I would appreciate it. I could probably reach out to a couple people I know, and if I can remember, Deuteronomy 24:6. Okay, so anyway, if somebody's looking for money or something like that, don't take their upper millstone. I don't know. It could be deadly. 534. Not to lend with interest to your brother. Leviticus 25:37.
Actually starts in 35. If your brother be waxen poor and fallen in decay with you, then you shall leave him. Yea, though he be a stranger or sojourner, that he may live with you. Take no usury of him, or increase, but fear your Elohim, that your brother may live with you. You shall not give him your money upon usury, nor lend your victuals for increase.
Okay,
I'm pronouncing
so
that right? USURY.
usury, yeah. So what does it say not to do for him? With usury?
You shall not give him your money upon usury, nor lend your victuals for increase.
So I think you're supposed to help him out, but you're not supposed to give him cash loans or something.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me see. My version says might be a little.
Yeah, what does that say?
What is
Leviticus
that? Leviticus 25.
37.
25:37.
Hold on.
Hold on, everyone.
It says, "Do not lend him your silver on interest, and do not lend him your food for profit."
Okay, so do not lend him your silver for interest and your food for
So
profit.
basically, don't make a profit off your brother. Do not
Yeah,
sit there and charge him extra. Give him what he needs, and he
Yeah.
will pay it back. Do not take extra on the return.
Yeah, I don't like that Sefer. There's some translations that I just don't like. Here comes the dogs. Okay, so next one is just the dogs. Not to lend with interest to your brother. Not to borrow with interest. Deuteronomy 23:20.
It says, "To a foreigner you lend at interest, but to your brother you do not lend at interest, so that Yahuwah your Elohim might barak you in all that you put your hand into the land which you are entering to possess."
Okay, self-explanatory. Does anyone have any questions on that?
No?
Okay, 536. Not to play any role in an interest loan. Exodus 22:24. Banks does.
This is the one where my wrath shall burn and I shall. This one about the widows. We already. This should be. It should but repeat on that one. That's the one we read about taking the widows or like charging people interest. You shouldn't do that because Yahuwah will burn against you.
Okay, so 536 is a repeat?
Yep.
Okay, don't grift from the widows. Okay, 537. When you vow to Yahuwah, you shall not slack to do what you say. Deuteronomy 23:21. So you vow to Yahuwah, I shall never use your name in vain again, and then you go and use his name in vain again. What do you think?
This is what it says. When you make a vow to Yahuwah your Elohim, do not delay to pay it, for Yahuwah your Elohim is certainly requiring it of you, and it shall be sin in you.
Yeah, so if you make the deal, I guess it goes two ways. If you make the deal with the devil, there goes your soul. But if you make a deal with Yah, you better give it because he's he's giving you so much that if you're willing to give back and make a pledge to him, don't rip Yah off. Okay, 538. You give to your neighbor to guard a possession and it is stolen. If the thief is found, he must pay double. Exodus 22:7 and 8.
When a man gives silver or goods to his neighbor to guard, and it is stolen out of the man's house, if the thief is found, he repays double. If the thief is not found, then the master of the house shall be brought before Elohim to see whether he has put his hands into his neighbor's goods.
Okay, so that's a pretty good law right there. So if you end up hey, you won't borrow my lawnmower, and some crook like rips the lawnmower off, and what do you think is going to happen? You take the guy before the guy who was supposed to watch it.
Try to find the
They
thief
look
first.
for the criminal, and they're like, okay, my lawnmower doesn't show up. This guy is sitting there hiding in his garage, and then they're going to take
What do you think the judge is going to do? Is like, yeah, it was in my garage. The guy slipped in the middle of the day. I have no idea where it is.
They probably try to find the lawnmower first. But I mean, if they find it if they don't find the thief and they go and find it in his house and be like, hey, you need to pay it.
Right. Do you think
give back another lawnmower.
Do you think the owner of the house has to pay money for the lawnmower or whatever?
I
They
feel
get
like
stolen.
he would buy a new.
What do you think the judge would do?
Make him buy a new lawnmower for him, like an extra one or something.
Is that fair?
I
I would say so. I mean, he's trying to steal from him.
But he's not. He don't know if he's trying to steal from him. You have no idea if the guy's trying to steal. What if there's a dude that really stunk in the dude's house, stole the lawnmower?
Well, I mean, if Elohim finds that, like when you say brings before Elohim, and if Elohim says this guy did not steal, then they gotta go find the thief or something.
Right, but they're not bringing it before Elohim, though. They're bringing it before the priest, and they're trying to.
Bring it before Elohim.
Well, okay, read it. What's it say?
Yeah, it says, if the thief is not found, then the master of the house shall be brought before Elohim to see whether he has put his hand into his neighbor's goods.
So before Elohim, you're going to go to a priest, right?
Right, and he'll kind of talk. He'll be the one like talking to
the
you.
priest is going to be the judge. He's going to be the one that's on this whole thing. So anyway, what do you think is fair? If the guy that is in the house was supposed to watch your lawnmower, it got stolen under his shift, should he be responsible to pay the guy back his lawnmower or not? He was trying to do the guy a favor. There was no interest. He was just watching his lawnmower. The guy was on vacation. His lawnmower got stolen.
I would say no if they find the thief. If they don't find the thief, then you got to figure out if he helped with the stealing or if something else was involved.
So yes or no answer. Is he responsible for the lawnmower that
It
got
was
stolen
under
from
his
him?
Yes.
watch
Well,
and he lost it.
if the thief is found, the thief must pay double.
Absolutely.
but-
But if he's not
But if we
found,
don't
then
find
he's-
the thief, then who is responsible? Because he asked him to watch the lawnmower, and it got stolen
I would
under
say
his
the
watch.
guy
I mean,
I would say the
whatever
guy that
you are
watched
put
it.
under watch, you're responsible for.
you would judge it, no, Jade. You would judge it with the guy that had that.
Yeah, if he was taking care of it and he was supposed to take care of it and it ended up getting stolen on his shift.
But the guy was gone. How would this be his fault? He was trying to do a favor, and then somehow he gets taxed $200 for a lawnmower.
I don't know.
How would that be fair?
I don't.
Does like community come together and donate $200 to this guy and give
Well,
him the
I'm just
lawnmower?
saying, I don't know how any of that would work out, honestly. So I'm just looking at what you guys would do on this. Me, myself, and I mean, I would feel responsible as the guy who had the lawnmower in the house and it got stolen into the house. I'd feel bad, but if I didn't have the money, I wouldn't feel responsible. I was trying to do the guy a favor. I mean, the guy could have wiped me out of everything I had as well, not just the lawnmower, right? Or he could have done, far worse. So anyway, it's nobody's fault, but it's just interesting to see how you guys would judge. I mean, that could be your job one day. I mean, when you guys are in the kingdom, if you guys know the laws of Yah, you guys could be the ones having to figure this stuff out, and there's no other way things are. You're going to go through the Torah just like we are. Like, oh, okay, hold on, what's it say here? Okay, so what do we got?
539.
539. Carry out the laws of the order of inheritance. Numbers 27:8.
And you shall speak unto the children of Jeshureel, saying, If a man die and have no son, then ye shall cause his inheritance to pass unto his daughters.
Okay, so why did this come up?
Because the man had no sons, you would give it to his daughters.
Yeah, but why did this particular one come up when they were talking about this?
Because back in the day when this man died, there was these 4 daughters that came up to Moses, and they're like, Our father died, he has no sons, all that's left is us of his relatives. What do we do with the land? Can we have the land? And Moses brought before Yah, and Yah made a law saying, if there was no sons, no relatives, then it goes to the daughters, it goes to the females of the house.
Yeah, so these gals got their inheritance as they should have. 540, appoint judges. Deuteronomy 16:18.
All right. Appoint judges and officers within your gates, which Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you, according to your tribes, and they shall judge the people with righteous right ruling.
Hopefully.
They weren't wicked. I mean, I'm sure to a point after right before Babylon, they're all sinning and being wicked judges.
I don't know. Everybody I've ever seen at the end of the day who ends up in a judgeship is corrupted, and they're evil people. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt.
You can't give them a lot of power. Just like judge.
Anybody has just a taste of power, it freaks them out. They go and they do crazy stuff. Okay, so 540, 541. Respect both people in a disagreement. Deuteronomy 1:17.
Do not show partiality in right ruling. Hear the small as well as the great. Do not be afraid of anyone's face, for the right ruling belongs to Yahuwah Elohim. And the case which is too hard for you, bring it to me, and I shall hear it.
Yeah, so this is Moshe, right, talking? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's basically it. Everybody needs a fair shake in a disagreement. I mean, there's, our Messiah talked a lot about partiality and like having people in the temple that have nice chairs and then giving the people that are in terrible clothes and things of that nature, the stools and things of that nature. So, okay, do not pervert judgment. Exodus 23:2, and it repeats again at 543. Exodus 23:2, and again on 544. Repeat. Okay, what do we got?
It says, do not follow a crowd to do evil, nor bear witness in his strife, so as to turn aside after many to pervert.
So it says, do not what?
It says, do not follow a crowd to do evil, nor bear witness in his strife, so as to turn aside after many to pervert.
Okay, so what does that mean to you guys?
It means, like,
Don't follow the crowd. Do what is right ruling, like it says in like the verse I just read.
I mean, if
you don't show
they're
partiality to it, you're not going to, because the crowd says this man's innocent. Like with Yeshua, they all went against right ruling. They all said, give us the murderer, give us the thief Barabbas, and kill the innocent man. That's what they did. Everyone went with the crowd, and they perverted right ruling.
Yeah, don't pervert judgment. Do not pervert it. Okay, 545. The court must carry out the death penalty of stoning. Deuteronomy 22:24. Who's going to chuck the first rocks, folks?
Then you shall bring them both out to the gate of that city, and shall stone them to death with stones. The girl because she did not cry out in the city, and the man because he has humbled his neighbor's wife. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst.
Can you imagine a world like this? And we're in South America. And South America is a little different than North America, by far. Here's the difference: when we were actually driving through Mexico, we were really, really lost, and I had never seen a motel that they have down here. They have these, I don't even know what they call them. They have these things where you can cheat on your wives. And it's like the motel is just that. You drive your car in, and it's these quick little rooms. And we ended up looking for a motel, and there was this crazy place in Mexico. We ended up at one of these places. I walked in there, and I walked right back out. It was crazy. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. And yeah, there's an issue. And so if back in the day, if you were committing adultery, or you were doing things of this nature, any kind of evil, they would just drag you outside the city and they would chuck rocks at you. Now the question is, who picks up the rocks and who chucks at who?
I would say the witnesses pick up the thing, and then
they'd probably be the first ones to stone him, and then like the judges, and then the rest of the community would all.
I think everybody picks up a rock. Everybody has a hand in this. I would imagine. Okay.
I mean, there would be a lot. There would be a lot less fatherless children if everyone stayed in wedlock.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a messed up world. 546. A man may not marry a mother and her daughter. That's kinky. Leviticus 20:14. That's the kids look at me like, okay, that's freaky. But it's not good. Okay, here we go. Read it.
And if a man take a woman and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burnt with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you. I said
wickedness, right? That's a part of wickedness. Okay. Yeah. So don't do it. Yeah, that's crazy. And I mean, here's the thing. It doesn't say don't marry two women. says don't marry the mother and the daughter.
Don't marry the relatives together.
Yeah, so there's...
That sounded weird. Like, yeah, that's just... All right,
Wives
moving
for all.
on. I don't want to read this anymore.
Okay. Dogs are doing what the dogs always do. So 547.
547 is Exodus 21:20. If a man smites his servant and he dies, he shall be punished. 1 second.
Hold on. We're just beating dogs.
Stop.
Okay, that's it.
Got bad dogs
All right.
trying to fight.
It says, when a man smites his male or female servant with a rod so that he dies under his hand, he shall certainly be avenged.
Wow. Okay, so if the dude doesn't die, then what? It's okay?
Then I guess you pay back whatever lost time was.
Yeah, but I mean, the man smites his servant. That means he's a slave anyway. He doesn't. It's not really his.
Yeah, no. If he lived for if he lived for like 2 or 3 days and then he died, it was not counted as wickedness.
I mean, yeah. There's rules for like beating the heck out of people.
Yeah,
like to the point of death. As long as they live, it's okay. But I mean, they're your servants. So I
Bring a man to the edge of death,
And then
all the way to
the
death.
next verse should be included. If you can add this for 21:20 through 21 as well.
Okay.
It says, But if he remains alive a day or two, he is not avenged, for he is his property.
Yeah, I guess I'd make a terrible slave owner. I don't think I have a heart to beat people like this. I don't know. I have a hard time beating you guys, let alone other people. Everyone's gonna be like shocked. Now, spare the rod, spoil the child. You won't put them to death. If you love your children, you need to discipline them harshly and
Beat the children.
That's the spirit, son. Just kidding, but it's definitely Eli's over there running. Okay, so we're joking in a lot of this stuff, but I mean we do discipline quite a bit here. Or used to. They're like large now.
Bigger than you.
Yeah, bigger than me. Okay, if a man smites his servant and he dies, okay, put anyone to death that breaks with wedlock. Leviticus 20:10. I agree with this. Let's do it.
And the man that breaks wedlock with another man's woman, even he that breaks wedlock with his neighbor's woman, the man and the woman that breaks wedlock shall surely be put to death.
Drag him outside. Put some rocks up.
It creates a holy land.
You're a family buster, man. You destroy your family. You destroy your loyalty that you have with your spouse. You destroy everything that is supposed to be. A family is supposed to be everything. And so I totally agree. Pick up the rocks, folks, and chuck them. And get rid of this evil in the land. And I hope one day when we go back to this, I hope people do go back to this. And I know there's not going to be marriages in heaven, but there will be this crazy stuff going on right here. Okay, so here we go. Putting one to death breaks like 549. Hanging a man worthy of the death penalty. Who's worthy of the death penalty? Who is?
21, 22.
And do 23-2.
Here's one
That'll
right
be the
one.
final one.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go over the next two.
And when a man has committed a sin worthy of death, then he shall be put to death, and you shall hang him on a tree. Let his body not remain overnight on the tree, for you shall certainly bury him on the same day. For he who is hanged is accursed of Elohim, so that you do not defile the land which Yahuwah your Elohim has given you as an inheritance.
All right, he who dies on...
Okay, why is he worthy of the death penalty, though?
Yeah,
Go
so-
over verse maybe?
Hanging man, yeah. What's worthy of the death penalty? I can tell you what it would be, but what's this say?
When a man has a wayward son who is not listening to the voice of the father or the voice of his mother,
that's
and
right.
when they have disciplined him, does not listen, his father and mother shall take hold of him and bring him out to the elders of the city, to the gate of his city, and shall say, this son of ours is wayward and rebellious. He is not listening to our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard, and then the city shall stone him.
So there you go, kids.
That's one, but there's...
who's coming to the gates? Okay, why was this guy stoned? Why did his parents?
Okay, I believe this man was a full-grown man at this point, and he was like breaking Torah.
Not just breaking Torah, but I mean, if you become a drunkard, there's a lot of qualities of a drunkard that you're not going to want to have, and it's usually, we have a couple of jungle people that are drunkards that like live and. They live from bottle to bottle, and you can hear them screaming in the jungles and stuff like that. We laugh and joke, and we say they have spirits chasing them, but they literally will find them passed out under a tree for days on end, or like puking in the trees in the early morning. They live in the jungles, and they're like drunkards like that. But yeah, back in the day, if you do that and your parents can't deal with you, then it's like pull you outside the city gates. And I'm sure this is not just like the guy gets boozed up or something to that, and it's like a one-time shot.
This seems like a long time thing.
This dude probably is beating his wife and kids and his kicks the door of this family's house in or something to the sword, and so it's beyond what they can deal with, and so there are rules for dealing with them, so that if you have to deal with a drunk, you have rules. And that's the good thing about the rules, law, statute, commands of our Creator, is there's a law for just about everything that you can think of, and so we don't have to go too far to figure out what the wishes of our Creator are. Gentlemen, how's everything going?
Good.
Everyone good?
Yep.
You guys learn anything from this?
Yeah.
Learning that they can't get their list together. So well, it looks like we have another, 2 nights?
I think counted 2 nights because 2 more.
I think we
nights.
might split these up, so we'll end up on another 2 nights. So hopefully we'll have it done this week, and maybe we can do our very first one, which I'm really excited about. I'm truly excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't think anyone's ever gone through it and given us just a point-blank list of the real commands of Yah. And
they'll be ordered, so
they'll be ordered.
So you're not jumping from book to book.
And once we have them ordered, I mean, we could actually put them in categories and things of that nature. But we really got to get a list to begin with, and I don't think it's as hard as everyone thinks. So, guys, look forward to that, and thank you guys so much for your time. We appreciate it. Anyone have any advice for anyone out there?
Read your Bibles, and if you're enjoying this, please follow along.
Yeah, subscribe, hit the little bell. They keep on subscribing to everybody, but we're not huge into subscribes, but or even who watches. The 70 or 80 of you guys that watch is just about the number I think that would be interested in the kind of topic that we are talking about. And it is always about full steam ahead into the Torah, and it is never about wavering to the left or to the right or allowing yourself into that sin that is going to take you out. I do want to address one guy that wrote in, and I see the comments and they'll delete them. I can't tell if it's YouTube or not, but there's a lot of people that seem to be caught in a lot of sins, and that is one of the themes of the Christian religion, and this is what it used to be when I was there, is that you can live in sin, but you could pray your way out of it, and you could do horrible things, and then the next night you can pray your way out of it. And the thing about sinning is if you do not know the Torah, you're going to be guilty by default because you're not going to know what is the will of our Creator. So you could actually live in sin and not know you're in sin. That is why we need to read Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, have it written on our hearts, minds, souls, and that we must talk about it in our days, write it on our doorsteps, and tattoo it on the back of our boys' shoulders. If that wasn't a command, I'd probably tattoo a verse on me. But yeah, we're not supposed to do tats. So it is very important that we live in this and abide by it, because it comes with what, Eli?
It comes with blessings.
And also, what does it come with, Jade?
Curses.
Okay, there's curses for those who don't follow and blessings for those who do. Okay, everybody, thank you guys very much for listening in. Have a wonderful night. We are out.
Shalom.
Shalom.